और आज पाकिस्तान ने हिस्ट्री क्रिएट की जी एज फार एज आईसीसी वर्ल्ड T20 कॉम्पिटिशन्स आर कंसर्न्ड और 10 विकेटों से भारत के अगेंस्ट मैच जीता एंड विद प्लेंटी टू स्पेयर 79 रन 79 रन बनाए मोहम्मद रिजवान ने 55 गेंदों पे 6 चौके और 3 छक्के उनकी इनिंग्स में शामिल थे और बाबर आजम वॉज नॉट फार बिहाइंड उन्होंने भी एक एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डनरी हाफ सेंचुरी की एंड ही स्कोर्ड 55 इन 52 डिलीवरीज और उसके उनकी इनिंग्स में 6 चौके और 2 छक्के शामिल थे। विराट कोहली ट्राइड टू रिहेबिलिटेट इंडिया और उन्होंने एक आप कह सकते हैं डार हाफ सेंचुरी स्कोर की एंड 57 इन 49 डिलीवरीज और ऋषभ पंत शायद गलत टाइम पे आउट हुए जब उन्होंने 39 रन किए। हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट वॉज द टॉस और आज हम बिल्कुल भूल चुके हैं कि शरत असलंका ने एक एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी इनिंग्स खेली बांग्लादेश के अगेंस्ट। उन्होंने 49 गेंदों पे 80 रन बनाए, 6 चौके और 6 छक्के। मेन फोकस हमारा रहेगा इंडिया वर्सेस पाकिस्तान और हमारा जो छोटा सा पैनल है जी वो अगर मैं इंट्रोड्यूस कराना शुरू करूं तो सुबह हो जाएगी, तो बेहतर ये है बैड बॉयज एंड गुड मैन एंड वन वुमन ऑल्सो। सो वी हैव द फॉर्मर पाकिस्तान वुमेन कैप्टन Sana Mir with us. Sana, well done, brilliant, spectacular, amazing.
Outstanding.
A high five.
High five.
And we have Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards. He needs no introduction. He has stopped me from calling him the king of the kings. So he was the best of the best. And we have the world's fastest bowler ever in this universe on God's earth. And that is Shoaib Akhtar. Shoaib bhai, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
बड़ा लोगों ने पूछा आपके बारे में.
I'm finally able to sit next to a great man and a great looking man, a great batsman. You know, thank you very much for giving me this pleasure.
In front of us.
And let me finish. Let me finish. You have destroyed my introduction. But finally, you know, it was a dream come true. I was sitting next to the Richard and David Garwood. I mean, I'm so glad that I'm born after they retired. The minute he was scoring runs back in 75 and 76, I was just about born. And thank God that when I started playing cricket and these gentlemen was off the field. And how would I get through his defenses and how would I get through his defenses with a very glary eyes.
And ladies and gentlemen, I have a new co-host coming from London joining us on Game On, David Garwood.
Yeah, good evening and welcome to the English version of Game On. It's been a fantastic night for Pakistan. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here to share it with you and sit next to this great man who actually, to be fair, had he bowled at his maximum pace, he would have caused us problems. So let us repay the compliment.
I most certainly confirm that.
And so we contemplate that he was even quicker than Jeff Thompson at Perth. So it would have been a delight to
call the Royal Pindi Express and nothing. And first, let me say this, man. We only got 9 here. I'm disappointed with the 2 who didn't turn it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Umar Gul, the former Pakistan fast bowler, joined by the last of the Mohicans, a complete all-rounder, Azhar Mahmood, the former Pakistan captain and wicketkeeper Rashid Latif, and my in Punjabi co-host, Akil Javed. So, let's say Pakistan Zindabad.
Yes.
So we did really well. Do we need to go back now?
No,
I think it's
good,
over.
it's good.
The World Cup is complete. Pakistan has beaten India by 10 wickets.
It was
By
a very,
10 wickets.
very, very special performance in every department. And I think it backed up everything we were talking about for that small sort of interview, small sort of session we had this morning for 3.5 hours. looking ahead to this stuff. Thank heaven they got the right result after that long intro this morning. But all the things that were talked about, getting early wickets, controlling the batting, personality, talent, composure, all those things were on sale tonight.
All right. And David, I believe that not only it was an overwhelming win for Pakistan, but it sets the tone right for this competition. Because we were scared when West Indies were bowled out for 55, which was disappointing. And then England overhauling the target in like 8.2 overs. And then we saw a very damp match between South Africa and Australia, 118 for 9. So today we saw some big scores coming up.
It's a relief, I'm sure, for everyone that they've seen runs flow. They've seen sixes, they've seen boundaries, they've seen great batting. I mean, just looking at these two that made the victory look easy. That was superlative batting. And if you talk about the other game as well, if you're allowed to talk about that as well,
Yeah,
in this country,
Of course.
again, there were some runs being scored with style. So it's a very good sign.
And Mushfiqur Rahim was actually brilliant, and then Naeem Sheikh, and followed by the Sri Lankan batsman. Rajapaksa scored a whirlwind half century, and that new guy I told you in the morning, Charat Asalanka, he was the man.
He looked like the new Jayasuriya.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. So, sir, we have an off spinner, we have a master blaster, we have the world's.
I was also an off spinner.
Oh yeah, of course. You have a wonderful one-day international record with the ball, and a brilliant fielder close to the wickets.
Who
And
says?
he was spectacular. 3 run-outs out of 5, so in the potential World Cup final.
Lost my memory.
Oh, you lost your memory. We have the world's fastest bowler. We have the most elegant left-handed batsman. We have a very high-class right-arm fast medium bowler who could take wickets in the corridor of uncertainty. We have a wicket-keeper. We have an all-rounder, and we have another competent fast bowler for T20 internationals. So we need to select 2 more.
I think
forget
let
about
the
you.
captain decide.
Yeah, the captain.
Let me say this for sure, man. I don't think we need 2 more. We got enough here, man. I think we can get the job done
Okay.
without the other 2.
Sir, in the morning you talked about Pakistan's passion, and you talked about that, like David and I was like a little skeptical when we were going through the strength of Indian cricket and their Indian team. But you were mentioning that passion and how they had beaten India in the Champions Trophy final. So now,
It's not just myself. I think Akim as well.
Yeah, Akim and
He was
Rashid
certainly,
joined
He
Akim.
was
Yeah.
certainly highlighting the things about the weaknesses about the Indian batsmen,
Yeah.
and where he thought that Pakistan could capitalize. And certainly we saw all of that today. And in the end, I felt when I saw India got to 150, I felt, well, wow, this is what we all wanted to see, where we could have a competitive match. But in the end, Rizwan and Baba made it look rather easy.
All right. So Shoaib, you think it was a very, very good toss to win?
It was a great toss to win. I mean, if you look at the situation and look at the dew factor, I was there in Dubai a couple of 3-4 days ago. No matter how much spray that you sprayed on the field, that is all still is coming down. The dew is still coming down, right? And winning the toss was very vital, because when you see Virat Kohli face, then he loses the toss. He immediately said that after the losing toss, that I also wanted the ball. But unfortunately, we have prepared Shaheen Shah Afridi. I mean, for the last 1 year or so, he was preparing this ball to bring it in most of the time. He was trying that, and he did that with a lot of conviction. And what he did was perfectly spot on, hitting the right area like a Yorker length, and then bowling against KL Rahul. He sets the tone. A little bit disappointing from Hassan Ali that he wasn't bending the bat. He should have bent the bat, and rather than let them get about 150, he could have stopped them in somewhere about 120. But immense pressure was there on Virat Kohli. I was there in the camps, and I was there facing the media and the music. They were so overconfident. They were just talking about the Pakistan is just a team that we don't have to play. Literally, you don't have to come on the field. You should get a walkover kind of things.
Harbhajan said that.
Yeah, he said that. I mean, I told him, I said, yeah. I said, you got about 400 wickets in test matches. You can't say those sort of things. But he said that. But what I said in return, that, there is a 40 overs to be bowled. And I really think that, Pakistan is one of the most formidable side when it comes to T20. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the record for past 10 years, there's a subcontinent teams who always reaches to quarterfinals, always reaches to semi-finals, always plays the finalist. But the recent past, that the England has turned it all around. And the West Indies, somehow, they turned it around back in 2015-16. But India was so overconfident and so under pressure through their own media that they had to deliver it. But you can't be above and beyond the game.
Absolutely.
And they tried their best. Unfortunately, the luck favored us, the situation favored us, and the bowling spell of Shaheen Shah Afridi was amazing. Yeah. And I really think that Pakistan has done nothing wrong, but everything right.
And probably Shadab joined the party at the right time. We were a little hesitant about his current form, but he actually picked up a very crucial wicket and then turned it around.
Yeah, I think I've covered most of the domestic season this time, and all three bowlers, Shaheen Afridi, Shadab and Haris Rauf, all three of them turned up and came to the party when it was really required. The way Shaheen Afridi bowled with the new ball, we saw him bowling in the domestic, but the kind of energy he brought today was exceptional. Haris Rauf was amazing at death overs, and Shadab, the wicket of Rishabh Pant at that time and that catch, it was not an easy one to take at that point. And I think everyone turned up. All credit to the bowlers. We saw how if you don't lose early wickets, it's not easy in the middle overs for the bowlers as well and at the death. So all credit to the bowling unit and to the batting unit. Outstanding cricket.
जनाब उमर गुल साहब, अब आपको गिला नहीं होगा, शिकवा नहीं होगा, आपका हाथ यूं नहीं रह जाएगा, हम ब्रेक नहीं लेंगे, तो आप क्या कहते हैं आज की परफॉर्मेंस पे, और स्पेशली जो क्लिनिकल बोल एंड था विद हारिस रऊफ, और अजहर महमूद शुड बी ए प्राउड मैन बिकॉज ही हैज़ वर्कड विद शाहीन शाह अफरीदी, एंड आज इन्होंने सुबह कहा भी कि he has now started to shape it in and pitch it right. तो आप क्या कहते हैं?
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मुबारक, बड़ा ज़बरदस्त एक हिस्ट्री चेंज।
यार मुबारक को जान से दें, आप तो ऐसे कह रहे हैं कि शर्मा शर्मा को मुबारक दे रहे हैं। आज पाकिस्तान 10 विकेटों से जीता उमर गुल भाई।
नहीं इंशाल्लाह,
आज तो मेरे पे जुगते लगाने का टाइम नहीं है।
अच्छा चल जी नहीं, इंशाल्लाह वी आर लुकिंग फॉर द ट्रॉफी। द पहला मैच था, लेकिन ये कि एटलीस्ट एक अच्छा स्टार्ट मिला, और जो चीज़ है कि एक कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्टिंग के लिए बड़ा ज़बरदस्त था। काफ़ी पॉजिटिव चीज़ें थी, जिस तरह शाहीन ने स्टार्ट लिए, जो हम प्लान कर रहे थे कि जिस तरह उनके बैट्समैनों की जो वीकनेसेस हैं उस पर काम किया है। और जो सबसे ज़बरदस्त चीज़ जो मुझे लगी कि शादाब ने जिस तरह बॉल किया उसको विकेट मिला, रऊफ़ ने जिस तरह का स्पेल किया, तो आई थिंक इनकी कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्टिंग के लिए बड़ा ज़बरदस्त है, और आगे जाके ना पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट के लिए उनके लिए अपने लिए भी बड़ा ज़बरदस्त है, एक अच्छा स्टार्ट मिला।
लेकिन अजहर एक अलमिया रह गया कि हमें ये नहीं पता कि नंबर 3 पे हमने फ़खर के साथ क्या करना है और 4 और 5 पे हमारी बैटिंग कैसी होगी। ये दोनों ने आज प्लान ख़राब कर दिया।
नहीं,
जो हो गया उस पर पूछ लें।
ये क्या प्रॉब्लम?
He's got a point.
He's
part of bad boys. Let's talk about cricket.
I think you're part of the bad boys.
No,
You're a good man. Okay.
जी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो सबको बहुत मुबारक हो। बात की सबने यहाँ पे जो है ना शहीन शाह अफरीदी ने जिस तरह टोन सेट की पाकिस्तान के लिए अर्ली ऑन, जो है ना उन्होंने अपने मेरे ख्याल कल इंटरव्यू में भी कहा था कि मुझे अर्ली 3 विकेट्स चाहिए बैट्समैन की, रोहित की, विराट कोहली और राहुल की। तो आई थिंक कि जो मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा खुशी की बात है वो लगी है कि आज पाकिस्तान की बॉडी लैंग्वेज वाज रियली गुड। दे वर वेरी काम, दे वर relaxed and they were enjoying. I think I'll give credit to Saklan Mushtaq and his entire team कि उन्होंने वो ड्रेसिंग रूम में कामनेस एक हमें नज़र आई है। मेरी आकिब भाई से भी बात हो रही थी, जिस तरह हारिस रऊफ इस वक्त बॉलिंग कर रहे थे, अपनी मर्ज़ी से बॉलिंग कर रहे थे, तो उन्होंने देखा कि हमें क्या करना है, क्या हमारी स्ट्रेंथ है, क्या हमारी वीकनेस है, और उस पर उन्होंने बॉलिंग की। आई थिंक जो शुएब बात कर रहा था कि हसन अली वॉज अनलकी टुडे कि उसने 2 दफ़ा डिसीव किया पंट को, और वो एक हाथ से छक्का लगा, और उसके बाद कोहली ने उसको एक्स्ट्रा एक शॉट मारी एक्स्ट्रा कवर के ऊपर से। तो आई डोंट माइंड, यू नो, इफ समवन गोइंग 42 for 2 विल टेक इट एवरी डे। सो एक बॉलर तो आपका ऐसा होगा जो रन्स के लिए जाएगा, बट द गुड थिंग अबाउट दिस पाकिस्तानी बॉलिंग लाइनअप, दे वर लुकिंग टू टेक विकेट्स, और फील्डिंग वाज आउटस्टैंडिंग, एंड आई थिंक बाबर आजम कैप्टनसी वाज रियली रियली गुड।
जी राशिद भाई,
सबसे पहले तो मुबारक डॉक आपको भी,
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
और जिस तरह से गेम खेला है पाकिस्तान ने, बहुत कम नज़र आया अगेंस्ट इंडिया आईसीसी में। जीतने की बहुत सारी वजूहतें जो नज़र आ रहे हैं आपको, रिजवान और साथ में बाबर है, शाहीन, लेकिन फील्डिंग में अगर हम आते हैं तो सबकी एक एफर्ट थी, स्पेशली कैप्टनसी में जो ओवर्स यूटिलाइज़ किए गए स्पिनर्स के, वो बहुत अहम थे। विराट कोहली बैटिंग कर रहे थे, लेकिन हमने 42 रन दिए 8 ओवर में, वो मेरे ख्याल से चेंज था। और अहम जो विकेट थी वो थी सूर्या कुमार यादव की, जो कि हसन अली ने विकेट ली, क्योंकि वो डेंजरस प्लेयर था, क्योंकि उसके बाद स्पिनर्स को आ जाना था, तो वो हो गया जो हो गया, लेकिन वो वाइटल विकेट थी। लेकिन सर ये जो एग्जीक्यूट किया प्लान सकलैन ने बनाया, बाकियों ने बनाया, लेकिन एग्जीक्यूट नज़र आया। जो स्लो ओवर वन की हारिस रऊफ ने, बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त स्लो ओवर की, हालांकि उस वक्त पांड्या भी खेल रहा था, जडेजा भी खेल रहा था, और दोनों का स्ट्राइक रेट दुबई में 150 प्लस या 150 है। उनको बॉल कम मिली, विराट कोहली कुछ ज़्यादा खेल गए, उनको बॉल कम मिली। इनके जो मेन प्लेयर थे, ईशान किशन थे, नहीं खेले, सूर्या कुमार आउट हो गए। ऊपर वाले इतनी ज़्यादा स्ट्राइक रेट नहीं है तीनों की दुबई के अंदर, चाहे वो विराट कोहली हो, चाहे रोहित शर्मा हो, चाहे KL राहुल हो।
राइट जी। आके भाई, आज एक और चीज़ इसने राशिद ने कहा कि इकोनॉमी रेट ऑफ इंडियन स्पिनर्स बाय द एंड ऑफ द 16th ओवर जो है पाकिस्तान की इनिंग्स में दे वर 7.43 और पाकिस्तान के स्पिनर्स का इकोनॉमी रेट रहा इन इंडियाज इनिंग्स 6.30। सो वाज इट द डिफरेंस की स्पिनर्स और ये थोड़ा वेटनेस की वजह से लगा कि वो जो वरुण चक्रवर्ती थे उनसे शायद गेंद स्लिप भी हो रहा था, और शामी से भी लास्ट ओवर में स्लिप हुआ जो कि बहुत मैसिव छक्का
मैच स्लिप हो गया पूरा।
देखिए ये
स्लिप हो गया।
ये जो इंडियन स्पिन बॉलिंग है वो कोई ऐसी बॉलिंग नहीं है। जडेजा इज नॉट अ थ्रेट, और जो चक्रवर्ती है यंग है अभी, उसका वो इम्पैक्ट नहीं है। तो ये स्पिन बॉलिंग जो थी वो कोई पाकिस्तान की उनसे बेहतर है। जो इमाद ने शुरू में ओवर किए हैं, जो प्रेशर उसने क्रिएट किया है, वो इंडियन में कौन ऐसा स्पिनर है जो इस तरह से विद द न्यू बॉल अगेंस्ट टॉप क्लास बैटिंग में इस तरह प्रेशर क्रिएट कर सकता है। और सबसे जो इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है ये, दिस विन वी नीडेड as a nation,
Yes.
Right.
as cricket board.
Yes.
Nobody supported us in recent
Times,
last 2 months or months. Only these two gentlemen came all the way and supported Pakistan cricket, isn't it?
No, Michael Vaughan did it. Michael Vaughan did it. Michael Ashton did it.
And Mike has
And
Mike
this
Hazeman did
message sent many quarters.
और आज बाबर आजम ने 68 रन की इनिंग्स खेली, 52 गेंदों का उन्होंने सामना किया और 6 चौके और 2 छक्के उनकी इनिंग्स में शामिल थे। सो डेविड गावर की तरफ चलते हैं। डेविड, बाबर आजम, prior to starting this World Cup, he had scored 1173 T20 international runs. I'm not talking about statistics.
As ever, Doc, I trust you on the numbers.
Yeah, these are the
Yeah,
facts.
yeah.
These are the facts. And Virat, he had scored 993 runs, so he also crosses the 1,000 mark. But Babar actually extended it by another 68 runs. How much impressed you are with this gentleman who actually started with 3 successive one international hundreds, and then he was a flop in Test match cricket, and Mickey Arthur, the head coach then, provided him extended run in Test match cricket, and now here he is captaining Pakistan across all 3 formats.
He is now up there with the best in the world.
All right.
And of course, that thing about not playing all formats at one stage, you have to build a reputation. But from the performance today alone, and from things I've seen elsewhere, the last couple of years, he's become a very complete player. And when you've got someone like that, we talked about it this morning, when you've got someone like that who you almost guarantee will make you between 50 and 100 in any sort of game, then everyone else has that confidence around that performance, and you build on that. Today only needed 2 batsmen, but the way he played again, he has a lot of self-confidence, he has time. There was one fascinating comparison. Kohli played an extra cover drive, which an Indian commentator said, that's as good as it gets. Babar played one on the up, through the offside, which was, dare I say it, even better. And I think there must have been a very strong element of competition, personal competition, between the 2 men today. So just on the day alone, of course, Babar wins both the game and that personal competition. And that's the sort of thing that inspires players in the future as well.
All right. So Shoaib, your 2 cents on Babar Azam.
यार फैंटास्टिक प्लेयर, इसमें कोई शक तो नहीं है। We criticized him back in the days that he's not a complete Test match player, but he transformed it. This is the character of the man that has been shown by him that he's able to compete on the highest quality of cricket. And then the criticism comes that this guy cannot be a good T20 player. That yet again he's transformed it. But those who bat up on the order in this format, who gets the maximum runs, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's very simple. Right. The person who gets the most of the slash and the pressure is the number 6 and number 5 or number 4, right? But the way Babar was so calmly approached towards this game, the way we reacted, and the way we reacted as a nation all over the media, let me tell you this much, we've been very mature about it. We did not make noises about, okay, how good we are and we're going to beat the hell out of you and this and that. But the way we reacted, it was very commendable. For me, it was very commendable. But now the way we're reacting now on social media and at the same time on the television, must give respect to Indians. Reason why? Because Virat Kohli is a great player.
Yeah.
He tried his level best, but though he lost the toss, he lost the edge of half of the game.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the way Pakistan was bowled out Indians, there was no chance for them to make a comeback. Rishabh Pant was great. Yeah. The Surya Kumar Yadav was great, but there is intelligence of the fast bowlers of Pakistani possessors that I still felt, that there is a chance of taking wickets, and they were there on the attacks to take wickets. But the game itself is bigger than anyone else, those who plays, right?
So right.
So I really think that I really like to see Indian back again, but not now, but in the finals.
All right, in the finals. So with Babar Azam, you have seen quite a bit of him now.
Yeah, I was privileged enough to have been in the PSL, and also when he made his Test debut, he's won the international debut as well. Against which team did he start?
West Indies.
Oh my God!
300s, I remember.
Definitely.
I never wanted to remind you.
He was very, very much impressive. And when you have the best seat in the house, you're in the commentary booth, and you're watching from you're in the best place really that you can be, and to see just the way in which he would have improved on a constant basis. And it just wasn't maybe his Test match, as the Trinity Express said that for some reason people were doubting his T20 quality as well. The guy has become one of the best T20 players in the world today. So, which means at some point this guy must have a good head on his body for him to accomplish the things that he have done so far. Just kudos to the man.
And what are the positives you actually pick up in his batting? He sees the ball late, plays the ball late. What makes him different?
That on the sort of just stand and deliver in terms of that particular shot that he played tonight, that was pretty impressive. To me, he didn't need to do anything else.
All right.
That was so impressive, just the way he stood up and bang, with so much time, you can't get any better than that.
So it's a privilege to have Babar Azam in the Pakistan team.
Yeah, I think the difference is in the response to his own talent and his own success. At one point, Umar Akmal was being compared to Virat Kohli when he was performing, and he would always have something to say about it. But whenever Babar Azam was compared to Virat Kohli, he would always say there's a long way to go. So it's in the responses also, that's the process through which he has developed. And I think the way he came for the toss, his body language was so good, he looked confident, and all credit to the PCB also. When you give the captain the team they want, it adds confidence to the captain. And this was the team that he really wanted. And you could see it from the word go that he was confident about his decision making. It comes into the batting as well. So I think credit has to be given there. This is the same team, almost the same guys who were not performing. But once you let them take decisions on the field, that's where teams are made.
So do you want me and Shoaib to call Mohammad Wasim and ask him why did he pick up the first team and then he had to bring in 3 changes?
I think it's also from the top management, Ramiz Raja. He understands how cricket is run. It's the captain's game. He instilled that. He gave Babar Azam that confidence, and you can see the results. And like Saklan,
so you wanted to tell me that Misbah Haq and Waqar Yunus, they were not impressive in the dugout?
I'm talking about the previous management, and I'm going to say that.
So you ducked the bouncer?
No, I
can tell you for sure.
I pulled it.
Yeah, I can tell you for sure. That's one of the problems that we have always felt touring Pakistan, that at times you have not put your best team on the park.
All right.
I don't know what issues sometimes you do have. Maybe an abundance of talent. Sometimes that can be overlooked at times. But to be fair, with the abundance of talent that you have around in this country, and you get the best team on the park, you'll be beating every team.
All right. So, Umar Gul देखें मैं अपने co-host को ignore करते हुए bypass करते हुए अपने partner को और फिर अज्जू को जनाब. So, Babar Azam.
डॉक्टर साहब आई थिंक इतने लेजेंड बैठे हुए उन्होंने जो बात की वो मेरे से ज़्यादा बेहतर जानते हैं. सर्वी हो गया, डेविड हो गया, ज़बरदस्त बात ही की है. बस मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहता हूँ कि वो जिस तरह डे बाय डे वो इम्प्रूव कर रहा है, और जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ है कि वो उसकी जो हंगर है, जो बैटिंग हंगर है, वो कभी भी ख़त्म नहीं हो, डे बाय डे वो उससे ज़्यादा मेहनत करता है, और कभी भी अपनी परफॉर्मेंस से जो है ना वो सेटिस्फाइड नहीं होता। वो हमेशा ये सोचेगा अगर आज मैंने 70 किए, कल मैं 100 क्यों ना करूं। तो आई थिंक गुड थिंग ये है कि वो अपनी परफॉर्मेंस से कभी सेटिस्फाइड नहीं होता, और ही हैज़ गुड ब्रेन, जो कि उसके बड़ा हेल्प करता है, और आई थिंक बड़ा उसके पास बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम है।
और आपके ख्याल में मोहम्मद रिजवान का इवॉल्व होना अराउंड बाबर आजम मीन्स कि अब कोई कंपटीशन भी आया? पहले तो ही वाज द लोन मैन स्टैंडिंग इन द पाकिस्तान टीम।
नहीं, आई थिंक दोनों का बड़ा ज़बरदस्त एक पेयर बन गया है, और एक दूसरे को अंडरस्टैंड कर रहा है, जिस तरह वो एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट कर रहा है,
करते हैं।
जी, उनके जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है रनिंग बिटवीन द विकेट, जिस तरह एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट कर, मेरे ख्याल से बड़ा ज़बरदस्त, और एक दूसरे पर कॉन्फिडेंस है उन दोनों को, जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है।
ऑलराइट, अज़हर महमूद।
Everyone said a lot of things about Babar Azam. I think he's one of the best.
आज उर्दू बोलनी थी।
Oh sorry. मुझे तो पता है। नहीं वो confuse हो गया। नहीं जिस तरह की वो बैटिंग कर रहा है, आपने जैसे मेंशन किया मिकी आर्थर, आई थिंक क्रेडिट गोज टू मिकी। उसने जिस तरह बाबर आजम के ऊपर सब लोग कह रहे थे कि टेस्ट मैच का प्लेयर नहीं है, लेकिन मिकी ने उसके साथ स्टिक किया, और अगर हम पे होता तो वो बाहर हो चुका होता, और फिर आज जो हम बाबर आजम देख रहे हैं वो बाबर आजम हम ना देखते। तो ये चीज़ है कि जब आप अपने प्लेयर्स को कॉन्फिडेंट देते हैं, जब आप टैलेंट आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हैं कि ये हमारा बेस्ट टैलेंट है, तो उसमें फिर उसके फेलियर्स को भी आपको बर्दाश्त करना पड़ता है। जब कभी फेलियर होगा तो आप उसको बर्दाश्त करें, क्योंकि आपने ये रियलाइज़ कर लिया ये बेस्ट टैलेंट है। आज भी सुबह जब बात हो रही थी, हारिस रऊफ़ की बात हो रही थी, तो काफ़ी सारे मीडिया पे बात हो रही थी, इसको क्यों रखा है, इसकी जगह धानी को होना चाहिए। तो मैंने ये भी बात की थी कि हाईएस्ट विकेट टेकर है वो यहाँ पे, और आपने उसको कॉन्फिडेंस देना है, वो आपका मैच विनर है। और जिस मौके पे ऐसे लड़के जब बॉलिंग कर रहे होते हैं या बैटिंग कर रहे होते हैं, तो इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर का है कि वो आपको 10 में से 8 मैच नहीं जिताएंगे, वो 10 में से 2 मैचेस आपको जिताएंगे। रेस्ट ऑफ द टीम प्ले अराउंड दोज प्लेयर्स। तो इस वक्त जो बाबर और रिजवान है, वो दोनों बहुत अच्छा खेल रहे हैं, एक दूसरे को कम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं, वो रनिंग बिटवीन द विकेट बहुत अच्छी है, और अंडरस्टैंडिंग बहुत अच्छी है। अगर आप देखें कि 300 रन्स की पार्टनरशिप उन्होंने लास्ट 11 मैचेस में की हैं, और उसके बाद जब साउथ अफ्रीका में भी जो उन्होंने रन चेस किया, 190 के करीब जो रन चेस किया था, दैट शोज के दे नो देयर गेम, उनके पास क्या शॉट्स हैं, कितने केपेबल हैं कि वो पाकिस्तान को मैचेस जिता सकें।
And this was what today was the captain of Pakistan not carrying the script from the dugout. So this also showed to them actually.
Well, that was Sama's point as well.
Yeah.
That's you give the guy responsibility.
Yeah.
You give him the team that he knows he can work with. Then you can be a captain.
All right.
Yes.
Then you can lead because you have confidence now. You've got the confidence of those around you. You've been given the responsibility, and then it's your chance to show what you can do. I mean, if you're battling coaches, administration, your own teammates, you've got no chance.
Right.
But as soon as everyone is on the same page, everyone is cooperating, everyone is collaborating, then you can show, you can actually take charge properly.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Let's remember, this is just the start.
Yeah.
There's a long way to go.
long way to go.
You know, it's and this is how I think you got to take every game as it comes.
All right.
You cannot afford now to get too carried away, because there's a whole lot of expectations now from folks.
All right.
So one's got to be careful.
And
जी
that's
आके
what-
भाई बाबर आजम पे बात करें, आज उसकी अप्रोच पे बात करें। जो राशिद ने एक पॉइंट बोला है कि प्रॉबेबली आज वो एक्सप्रेस कर रहा था व्हाट ही वांटेड टू एक्सप्रेस, और नहीं लग रहा था, रोबोट नहीं लग रहा था एज ए कैप्टन।
देखिए ओवरऑल जब वो 152 पे उनको रोका है,
Yeah.
वो कॉन्फिडेंस था कि इस जैसे कि नंबर 1 बैट्समैन है आपका बाबर,
Yeah.
रिजवान फ्रॉम लास्ट 1.5 years एवरेजिंग
66
almost 80.
okay, almost 80.
now it's gone up to 100.
Oh
in
God.
T20s,
Oh
yes.
God.
The latest average
Okay.
has gone
79
up
not out.
to 100 in T20.
This is not a fluke,
Yeah.
and this is not one of the good day.
Yeah.
They've been doing this from last
Sir,
2 years.
आप मेरे उर्दू के
2 साल से
हाँ जी।
वो यही इसी तरह की परफॉर्मेंसेस दे रहे हैं। ठीक है, अब अगर आपको दे देंगे कि जी 250 आपने चेज करना है,
Yeah.
और जो कम्प्लीमेंट किया है वो भी अगर किया है तो शहीनशाह अफरीदी, हारिस रऊफ और इमाद
शादाब।
वसीम और शादाब,
Yeah.
आपके जो पिछले साल के नंबर 1 बॉलर था हारिस रऊफ, नंबर 2 था शाहीन,
Yeah.
और अभी भी दे आर इन टॉप 5।
Yeah.
इमाद वसीम from last many years was #1 T20 bowler.
But he was dropped recently. ये भी याद
क्योंकि तब उसको कॉन्फिडेंस उसका नीचे लेके आए ना.
Yeah.
तो दिस टीम हैज लॉट ऑफ पोटेंशियल और ये पोटेंशियल से जीते हैं. और शोएब मलिक आई थिंक इन T20 की हिस्ट्री में आई थिंक ही इज #2
after Chris Gayle, I think.
11,000.
Number three.
Number 3.
Yeah, with 11,000 runs overall in T20 history of T20 cricket.
Gayle is universal boss, and what about Shoaib Malik? He has to be boss of some area. Even though not universal.
The way I think things are going at present, I think he can find a space.
So,
Mohammad Hafiz, utility player.
yeah,
Today, you know, वो 2-3 ओवर कर गया.
yeah, 2
और
overs.
उसकी जो लास्ट जो उसने इम्प्रूव की है 2 साल से जो क्रिकेट इम्प्रूव किया अपनी T20
Yeah.
तो इस टीम की शक्ल बिगाड़ी गई थी. ये टीम या पोटेंशियल पाकिस्तान में प्लेयर्स में इसी तरह का है. और हम जो वो आई वाज टॉकिंग टू वेव कि वो जो इंडियन प्लेयर्स की है ना, जैसे ये जो आपके यादव साहब हैं या पंत साहब हैं, या वो इंडियन पिचेस के ऊपर खेल के इसी तरह इंडियन पिचेस आर लाइक दिस.
yeah.
और टीम में क्या है, 2 अच्छे बॉलर हैं, एक्सप्रेस बॉलर, 2 or 3 मीडियोकर बॉलर्स और इंडियन पिचेस. वहाँ तो कोई भी स्कोर कर सकता है. अभी जो IPL हुई है इधर UAE में तो क्या स्कोर है, 130 140. तो हमारे प्लेयर्स को, क्योंकि हमारे पास प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है, हम उस तरह से क्रिकेट नहीं ज़्यादा हुई, तो इनकी इमेज जो है वो जितने होने चाहिए, जितना बड़ा शहनशाह अफरीदी को स्टार अब होना चाहिए, वो बुमराह करते हैं. व्हाट इज बुमराह इफ यू कंपेयर विद शहनशाह अफरीदी?
He is good also.
Isn't it? He is good.
He is very good.
But
Yeah.
जो ब्रांडिंग है,
Of course. वो तो ये
जो
शोएब
कोहली है, कोहली. व्हाट अबाउट बाबर आजम? ही इज #1 प्लेयर.
ना, उसका एक वजह है ना कि शोएब अख्तर को मेरे ख्याल 1.25 साल हो गए ब्रांड करते हुए, बट वी हैव नॉट बीन बिल्डिंग इट अप. सो आई टोटली एग्री विद यू.
ये वही बात होगी ना, ये टीम 2-2.5 साल पहले, अभी हम बात करते हैं, आपको काफ़ी सारा वो था कि एज पे अगर 2 साल मलिक के ज़ाया ना होते, 5 मैचेस खेला है, हफीज़ के 2 साल जो है ना उस तरह होते हैं, जो बाकी प्लेयर्स हैं इन एंड आउट हुए, तो आप देखें ना, आप बात करते हैं, ये वही टीम है, 12 प्लेयर वही हैं. रिजवान एक नया है या 1-2 लड़का और आया है, बाकी ये 12 के 12 प्लेयर जो जब आपकी टीम #1 थी या 2019 के वर्ल्ड कप में जो आपकी टीम थी, आपका कोर वही था.
तो 2 साल में उम्र बढ़ के अच्छी हो गए ना.
From me, he told me that.
So that's his self confidence.
Yeah, he got a confident boy. You know, like.
But I think, you know, Abibi, sorry, gentlemen. Abibi, I really want his second spell of the one days or third spell of the test match or the fourth spell of the test match has to be the same of the T20 first 2 overs. And he is developing his muscles. His body is coming to terms with that, you know, he has to bear the load. My only worry is that, you know, he's a great formidable fast bowler when it comes to T20 and a great start to his career, you know, but if he needs to become great, he needs to bowl longer spells.
All right.
Shebi, he got a really good record in 90 test matches. He got almost 90 wickets. Yeah. So he's been a leader of this bowling attack. So he's been doing really well for Pakistan. My only concern is, so don't break him, because he's been playing all 3 format, plus the PSL, plus the county T20 circuit. So we need to look after these guys.
I mean, like, they were just spot on. I mean, right from the word go, they were spot on, and they knew exactly what they're doing. And finally, you know, not only Babar Azam, this is individually, if you see, every character was taking responsibility.
So now my another question to you and my rest of the panel is that how important this winning the toss shall become as the tournament wears on. In Dubai we have seen it, there was a little bit of wetness, as it was quite evident they were using the towel on the ball, and it did impede the bowlers a bit when India were bowling.
I think, Ak, you said that we're going to see at some point a team scoring pretty a big score. Charger, we saw who it was, Bangladesh, getting to 171.
Yeah.
You know, and then after, at one point, it looked like it was going to be a match for Bangladesh to win.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we saw some lousy catching.
Look at that.
Some lousy catching. And with that, And I can bet you, I wouldn't want to be a fielding coach watching that.
और सना मीर से हमने माजरत करनी है जी, उन्होंने याद दहानी करवाई है कि जब कहा जाता है कि पाकिस्तान ने हिंदुस्तान को कभी आईसीसी वर्ल्ड कप्स में हराया नहीं और एक जिंक्स है, तो उन्होंने कहा हमने 2 दफ़ा हराया था, दोनों दफ़ा आप ही कप्तान थी।
मैं कप्तान थी पर ऑब्वियसली टीम एफर्ट थी, बट मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि पाकिस्तान ने हराया लड़कियों ने, बट या ऑफ कोर्स मैं बाबर has joined the party।
आपने कभी 10 विकेटों से हराया?
नहीं, 10 विकेटों से नहीं।
So you have never beaten India by 10 wickets,
Yes,
na?
yes.
Still, a bit of discrimination.
But twice and once, so Babar has to do it twice and lift the trophy।
No, beating India by 10 wickets means he has done 5 times. So it's not 5-5. Well, yeah. Now, okay, David. Now getting on to the way Virat played, it seemed that he was trying to orchestrate the Indian innings and did his best. And probably at one time, when Rishabh Pant was complimenting him, it seemed that they could post about between 165 and 170. So again, the par score was 150 plus, which they achieved in the end. So do you really think that there was something wrong with the Indian, like Rashid tried mentioning that Surya Kumar Yadav may well have been rested and Ishan Kishan, who is in tremendous form, may well have been in?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, the damage was done in those opening couple of overs.
Yeah.
And so once you've got that situation, I thought Virat actually played a very, very good hand. For instance, that shot he played of Shaheen Shah Afridi over long on, just to play that from that situation at that time shows guts, skill, and a determination to try and make things good. But you're always up against it when you're playing a bit of a lone hand. Okay, Rishabh Pant is always dangerous, and when you've got the scorecard which says you're 3 down.
Yeah.
And now the Surya Kumar Yadav thing is, well, he looked for a moment or two, he looked as though he was in decent touch.
Yeah.
I mean, that flick for 6 went very easily.
Yeah.
When you get out soon after that, that's the end of your day.
Yeah.
And I mean, a little bit like him saying, don't get too carried away by the result. There's a long way still to go. Don't make one judgment on one player on one day either.
Agreed. And another thing which we noticed was that not only the Indian batting lineup, but do you think that toss actually played a very crucial role, and it was hard to bowl second time out there in Dubai?
I think, I mean, I said this morning that I would have done exactly the same thing if I were anywhere near that coin.
Yeah.
Win the toss, and you will bowl first. I think it's important. I think it's handy. I don't think it's absolutely crucial, because again, it depends on the performances. You know, that thing we talked about, or execution. Yeah, if you start the day by taking 2 or 3 early wickets, you've gained the advantage by taking 2 or 3 early wickets, and then the due thing becomes relevant only if you've got another 30 runs, and things are becoming harder to bowl. So I think having done the hard work in keeping it down to 150, then you have control of the game. So actually, that first 20 minutes was the.
And do you think that Virat got out at the wrong time? Because if we go through his stats, which are very, very relevant, that if he bats between 1 and 6 overs, his strike rate is like 127.
Right.
From 7 to 15, it's 128. From 15 to 20, it's 196, a staggering 196. So you think that probably he could have carried the bat and another 10-15 runs?
If you looked at his reaction when he got out, he was not a happy man.
Yeah.
Okay, because one of the things that stands out about Kohli is that he has immense pride in his performance and immense pride in the job of leading India. Now, one of the captains today has been able to set the perfect example by leading his side from the front with the bat to a 10-wicket win.
Yeah.
The other guy was trying hard to do something not quite the same, but was trying to rescue a team with that same responsibility. And I think he realised when he got out that that was a key moment both for him and his team.
Yeah. Ji Rashid bhai.
जी सर.
So Virat Kohli, the impact or first 3 wickets, as David said, they left them dented.
नहीं, शुरू में जो आउट हो गए, उसके बाद जो लेके गए, इतने रन बन गए, मेरे ख्याल से उन्हीं की वजह से बने. उन्होंने पिच को तो रीड कर लिया था, लेकिन विकेट्स हमारे नहीं गिरे. जो मेन जो इस मैच में नज़र आ रहा है ना, शुरू के 6 ओवर में हमने रन भी बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं बनाए. होता ना कि आपने 50, 55, 60 बनाए, आराम से खेले और हमारे 40-41 रन शायद 6 ओवर में थे. विकेट कोई भी नहीं गिरी. उसके बाद आपका मोमेंटम शुरू होता है। अगर 40 रन है, कोई विकेट नहीं गिरी, उसके बाद आप चूज़ करते हो 9वां ओवर, 11वां ओवर, 13वां ओवर, वहाँ से मोमेंटम शुरू हुआ। एक में 10 बने, फिर 7 बने, फिर 12 बने, तो वहाँ से मोमेंटम शुरू होता है। ये स्ट्रेटजी होती है अच्छे, मैथ्यू हेडन आया है या बाबर आजम खुद भी इतनी क्रिकेट खेला हुआ है, तो उस तरह से ये लेके गए प्रॉपर मैच की को प्लान करके। जो रन चेजिंग होती है बिल्कुल उसी तरह से लेके गए। शुरू में विकेट, अगर 2 विकेट ऊपर से गिर जाते, चेज नहीं होता।
All right. So, sir, coming on to, like Rashid has said that the Pakistan actually had a plan when they were chasing the total of 152, and they executed it quite brilliantly, meticulously. So, how do you see Kohli's impact? Because he tried carrying the day for India, having lost Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul very early in the innings, and then Surya Kumar Yadav's wicket fell at a very, very wrong time.
What seems obvious was the fact that after the start that Pakistan would have had with the ball, when batting at that particular time looked like 150 would have been the total that he feel he could defend. And in the end, really, I think he needed much more than that.
All right.
But it was what I felt too. We all speak about maybe the teams winning the toss and batting. We saw today, they were able to assess when chasing after, and they did it magnificently well. Sri Lanka, Pakistan, the perfect day for the two teams.
All right. So, actually, the stats of playing at Emirates misled the teams today, because 150 was considered to be a very
well, with the start that India had, and we all speaking about maybe some of the low totals that we would have seen. Getting to 150, we felt that was the total that India could have defended. But Baba and Rizwan basically took it away from them.
Well, if they'd lost either of those men
early, then it becomes competitive.
Say you lose 2 wickets in that first 6 overs, then it changes the pace. You're not swatting one over square leg for 6, you're blocking one, looking for one.
That's right.
So the pace is changed, the asking rate goes up quickly, and the whole demand, the whole plan.
So that is why you must
changes.
give kudos to the two openers.
All right.
They obviously took the pressure from the rest of the players.
Okay.
The guys who were to come.
So, Virat Kohli and how Rohit Sharma lost his wicket to a peach of a delivery. नहीं उर्दू में बोल लेता हूँ सर, सॉरी माजरत सर, उस्ताद मोहतरम. So, जिस तरह हमने देखा रोहित शर्मा जल्दी आउट हुए, फिर के राहुल की बड़ी ज़बरदस्त बॉल थी, और फिर सूर्य कुमार यादव, जिस तरह डेविड ने कहा कि फ्लिक पे ऐसे लग रहा था he was in fine touch, but a brilliant catch in the end जो हमने देखा मोहम्मद रिजवान का. So, इंडिया का 150-152 जो है, यू थिंक के ठीक टोटल था?
नहीं, जो फर्स्ट 6 ओवर की जब मैं कल भी बात कर रहा था कि पहले 6 ओवर में आपके अगर 3 विकेटें आप ले लेते हो तो आपकी टीम जो बॉलिंग साइड है उसके 80% चांसेस हो जाते हैं मैच जीतने के. ठीक है, हमने देखा विराट कोहली जिस तरह खेले, उन्होंने कोशिश की कि वो उसको रन्स को ज़्यादा लेके जाएं. आई थिंक द क्रूशल टाइम वाज ऋषभ पंट्स विकेट, कि उस वक्त जब वो आउट हुआ है ना, वहाँ पे मोमेंटम जो है इंडिया के फेवर में जा रहा था. जिस तरह का कैच लिया शादाब ने और जिस तरह की बॉलिंग आज उन्होंने की, काफ़ी सारा उनको लताड़ा जा रहा था कि बॉलिंग अच्छी नहीं कर रहे. आज उसने बताया कि एक बैट बॉल किया उसने, और आज उसने बताया है कि ही इज़ द नंबर 1 बॉलर और हमें उसको बैक करना चाहिए. और कमिंग बैक टू, जब आप 150 का स्कोर टोटल होता है, 160-170 होना, तो रन रेट आपका 8 से 9 के ऊपर जाता है. तो इन दोनों को पता था कि हमने किस रन रेट से खेलना है, और द क्वालिटी ऑफ दीज 2 गाइज जो दोनों की थी, रनिंग बिटवीन द विकेट बहुत अच्छी थी. उन्होंने स्ट्राइक रोटेट किया, जहां उन्हें लूज़ बॉल मिली उस पर उन्होंने बाउंड्री हिट की. तो आई थिंक दैट शोज़ के यही टेम्परामेंट चाहिए इनको आगे भी, और ये पिछले 1.5 साल से बैटिंग में ये दोनों लड़के हमारे लिए काम कर रहे हैं. हमारे आने वाले मैचेस के लिए हमारे लिए क्रूशियल होगा कि हमारी जो बेंच पे लोग बैठे हुए हैं मिडिल ऑर्डर उनका भी इम्पैक्ट होना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमने देखा है जो साइड मैचेस में उनको इतना ज़्यादा चांस नहीं मिला. तो वो क्रूशियल होगा हमारे लिए कि अगर खुदा न खासा अगर बाबर एंड रिजवान में से कोई अर्ली आउट होता है तो फिर हम कैसे अपनी इनिंग्स को बिल्ड करते हैं, और अपना टोटल जो है हम कैसे 160 पे, अगर हम इन कंडीशन में 150-160 पे लेके जाते हैं तो हमारे पास चांसेस हैं, क्योंकि हमारे पास जो बॉलिंग के रिसोर्सेज हैं वो बहुत अच्छे हैं, और हम किसी भी टीम को इन कंडीशन में पकड़ सकते हैं अराउंड दैट काइंड ऑफ स्कोर.
The top scores in an Indian innings in a T20 international, 52% of the matches India has lost, and even Royal Challenger Bangalore. It hasn't been like something special when it comes to the Indian Premier League. And third, he thinks that his contemporaries and other strike batsmen from India, they have much better strike rates.
That's some deep thoughts there.
Yeah.
Latif. You've gone deep. Very deep.
He's a very deep man.
Yeah.
52.
Good, right? Very high. So,
With 52%, you can leave Europe.
okay. So, Shoaib, now before I get to Akib, because I know that he's going to be like, he's sitting close to me so he can hit me anytime.
Yeah.
So, how do you
Expect the same
see...
from me.
No, we're a little distant. David is going to absorb the shock. So, how do you see Pakistan now progressing in the tournament? They have to take on New Zealand, and obviously they don't have to be complacent or but they didn't look actually the team which we had seen with loads of difficulties. Today they were eased out. They were expressing themselves. Their body language was different. So, how do you see this build up to the New Zealand
I
match?
think Pakistan probably is going to be much more at ease right now, but there's a lot of pressure on Pakistan. You see, they're the first match that they're playing against India, and must understand this is a game that we can't lose. And the things that we couldn't done, that as us we couldn't done. I mean, though we were beating India left, right, centre in India and outside India,
But not in the World Cup.
but not in the World Cup. And there was a lot of pressure on the youngsters such as Babar Azam. He's a young captain, isn't he?
Yeah.
And the way he managed to score runs, but at the same time, one opener cannot do his job until you're with.
Yeah.
But you gotta have a lending hand, someone's like Rizwan. And he took a lot of pressure off Babar because he's scoring runs at will at the same time and building up the score. But now, what we feel against New Zealand, what happened to us back in 2 months ago. We were very demoralized as a nation.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was panning out in Afghanistan, and then we're expecting England to help us out.
Yeah.
We're expecting New Zealand to help us out. It's only 2 days, and there are only 3 days. Just come out and play. Do not run away because of the fake email. I mean, our intelligence,
Everybody, all
everybody,
stakeholders.
the armies to top to bottom was there to serve you. But now, some sentiment of Pakistan that we need to feel, that we need to beat New Zealand more than in India. so we cannot be complacent as a team, but there's a lot of maturity, as Ajju said, and there's a lot of guys you're talking about, there's a lot of maturity that can be seen in the Pakistan dressing room.
All right.
This is the captain that I haven't seen in the last 1 year. I'll be very honest with you. I'll be very bluntly straightforward with you. This is the captain that was, of course, he was reading the script. It was a lot of under pressure, and that he was not able to pick the team. And he looked very composed. He looked very calm. At the same time, the people around him, they looked calm at the same time. And I felt that Pakistan is. We should not be overjoyed because of this win, because we've beaten India.
Of course.
We're going to celebrate till death.
That's the master stroke.
But there's a tournament is just begin.
It is just begun.
And then Pakistan needs to show this character again, once again, that we are a team to look for. We are a formidable side. We can play this format better than anyone else. And we can win against New Zealand and many teams to come and can be the finalist. I think this approach needs to be seen in next 35 days.
All right, जी आके भाई न्यूजीलैंड राशिद भाई के मुताबिक जो है वो न्यूजीलैंड की बड़ी फेवरेट टीम है, वो अपने आप को बड़ा अच्छा जो है वो कहते हैं ना कि एडजस्ट करती है इन डिफरेंट कंडीशंस, टेक्निकली एप्ट बैट्समैन हैं, उनके पास पावर हिटर्स हैं, उनके पास अच्छे बॉलिंग रिसोर्सेज हैं, चाहे स्पिनर्स हैं या फास्ट बॉलर्स. नाउ पाकिस्तान दे विल बी प्लेइंग अगेंस्ट न्यूजीलैंड.
देखिए आज एक हमने मैच जीता, उसकी बहुत सारी रीजंस हैं. विनिंग टॉस, फिर वो ऊपर से 3 विकेटें मिल जाना, उसके बाद आपको 152 चेज करना है, जो कि हमारी ये जो बैटिंग है ना, अगर आप देखें ये कंडीशन हमें सूट करती हैं पाकिस्तान टीम को. यू गॉट लाइक मोहम्मद हफीज, शोएब मलिक, रिजवान, बाबर. तो ये अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन हो, फ्लैट पिचेस हों और जहाँ 200 प्लस रन्स हों, तो ये टीम के लिए मुश्किल है.
ओके.
तो ये जो 160, 170, 155, 50 रन्स इन कंडीशंस में एवरेज तो रन्स इतने ही होने हैं. वी सीन शारजा पिच, स्लगिश, नॉट 200 pitch.
Yeah, but 171 I think they posted today.
Abu
तो
Dhabi
ये
but
वो
Sharjah
range
was
है,
better.
ये वही रेंज है.
Sharjah pitch was better. Dubai and this Abu Dhabi was tricky.
तो इसमें आप भी उस ट्रैप में जब फंसोगे, playing in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, if you lose the toss and you bat first,
Yeah.
then
Posting the total may well be perplexing. Yeah. So very right. So a word from you on Rishabh Pant today. One-handed sixes.
Yeah, I think he's so good that he was almost changing the game. He was changing the momentum, and that's why that wicket was so important for us. Even though after losing those wickets, we saw Virat Kohli playing with a lot of character. I think he showed a lot of character because he was under pressure not only because 2 wickets were down, but his captaincy has been talked about a lot because of Rohit Sharma being so successful in the IPL. So I think he showed a lot of character. He was well supported, like Babar was well supported by Rizwan. Kohli was well supported by Rishabh Pant for in the middle overs. So I think they have a very good team. Again, as we say, Pakistan had a very good day. They executed everything really well. But of course, what this does is, this win does is, it adds more pressure onto New Zealand also. Because the tournament will open up. Everyone knows India is going to make a comeback.
Of course.
So even before going into the match, we have put a lot of pressure on New Zealand. And that's really good. And like Shoaib bhai said, that now we have a history with New Zealand also to settle. So they will be motivated.
But Shoaib,
But you know, but one thing I'm going to point, I'm going to forget yet, what is this impact player? What is this nonsense about being impact player? Impact player is someone like who can play a proper shot. What we have seen today, what Sir Rev and our dear friend David Garber has put it, just about playing according to the merit of the ball. Whoever plays the best test cricket can be the best player in the T20. Very simple as, right? And forget about this nonsense of being an impact player. Impact player can win you 1 or 2 games, odd games, right? He can be a superstar. But the people who can just finish the game, such as like Rizwan, Babar, Virat Kohli, he's a great bench. He's been a great.
Rohit Sharma.
Rohit Sharma. This is the player. Sorry.
When you, like I said, it's a good point, but you need your impact man when you've got another 30, 40 runs
Yes.
to get.
Yes.
And instead of controlling it as these two did today, and so cruising in the end to victory, when you need that extra, you have to get to say 180, 190 or more, then those guys who come in and make the impact are part of your strategy. But this is the basis.
Yeah, but the question is to Legend, were you more safe than with Rohit Sharma batting all the way down and Virat Kohli than Rishabh Pant or Surya Kumar Yadav? Because you can have the feel that you can get them out any times.
Okay.
You know, you're not safe. You know, but with the Babar, you can see that he's playing all according to the what the books of the cricket is saying, and you win in the game.
जी राशिद भाई और आके भाई ऋषभ पंत
कोई हिसाब लगा रहे थे इधर
जी
कि अगर न्यूजीलैंड से इंडिया हार जाए तो फिर क्या होगा?
फिर तो फारिग हो जाएगा काम फारिग हो
क्योंकि
जाएगा
हमने
उनके लिए।
ये सोचा है कि सारी जितनी टीम्स है वर्ल्ड
ये
कप
बताना है इनको।
नहीं बताना
नहीं बता दें प्लीज नहीं बताए ना
तू बता ना इसको जो फॉर्मूला हमने निकाला
they have come up with some formula
मैं कह रहा है स्टूडियो बैठे लाउंज से नहीं
एक ही बात है अभी आप अभी रहोगे तो फील करोगे
कीड़ी काड़ा खेलना
क्या आखिर में अच्छा बताया कि बेस्ट बॉलिंग जो नजर आ रही है हर किस्म की बॉलिंग 6 बॉलर हैं और छठा बॉलर मुझे सबसे पसंद है वो हफीज है। जिस टीम में छठा बॉलर आपका इंपॉर्टेंट हो उसकी वैल्यू हो और T20 में उसके अंडर 7 इकोनॉमी रेट हो तो वो अच्छा है। पेसर में देखते हैं हसन अली
कह सकते हैं मैच जिता सकता है पूरा हफीज वो बॉलर।
अब देखिए दायरे के बॉलर स्पेशल होते हैं हमारे पास शाहीन है इमाद है बीच में चिपिन होंगे एक आध 2 हो जाएंगे उसके बाद मिडिल में बॉलिंग करने वाला हसन अली हमारे पास है साथ में शादाब है उसके बाद आखिर में बॉलिंग करने वाला है हमारे पास गुल की तरह हारिस रऊफ है क्योंकि गुल भी अपना 12वां 14वां 16वां 18वां ओवर किया करता था ना ये भी रेस्ट करके आता था फिर बस मारता था सेम चीज़ नज़र आ रही है और इसी तरह से हम लोग यही बॉलिंग अटैक इस टाइप का था हमारे पास 2009 में था
2009 ICC World T20. So they are fancying Pakistan winning the World Cup after beating India in the first game, and they are also like contemplating that if India loses to New Zealand, then their run in the tournament shall become quite ambiguous. So